So, one of the biggest questions people are asking today is this: what does the Bible actually say about sexuality? Well, some people assume the Bible is simply a list of rules, and others assume it's outdated and irrelevant. And some people believe Christianity is mainly about saying no. But what if the Bible's message about sexuality actually begins somewhere very different? So, to understand the Bible's perspective, we have to start at the very beginning. The Bible doesn't start with rules about sexuality, it starts with identity. In Genesis 1:27, it says, God created mankind in his own image, male and female, he created them. That statement tells us something foundational. Human beings were created intentionally. Our bodies are not accidents, our identities are not random, and sexuality is part of God's design for humanity. So from the very beginning, the Bible frames sexuality not as something shameful, but as something meaningful. A few verses later, the Bible describes how sexuality fits into human relationships. In Genesis 2:24, it says, a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh. The phrase one flesh describes a deep union. It's physical, emotional, spiritual. In the biblical view, sexuality was designed to express commitment within a covenant relationship. Not just attraction, not just desire, but faithful, lifelong connection. And this is where people sometimes misunderstand the Bible. They see boundaries and assume the goal is restriction, but in the Bible, boundaries exist to protect something valuable. Think about fire. Inside a fireplace, fire provides warmth and comfort. Outside the fireplace, it can destroy a house. The Bible presents sexuality in a similar way. It is powerful and meaningful, which is why it is meant to be protected. The Bible is also realistic about human experience. It acknowledges that the world is broken. Relationships are complicated. People carry wounds and confusion and struggles. And because of this brokenness, human sexuality often becomes distorted. But the Bible doesn't respond with condemnation. It responds with redemption. The message of Christianity is not that some people are perfect. It's that all people need grace. When Jesus walked the earth, he encountered many people with complicated stories. And one thing stands out about his approach. He treated people with dignity, with compassion and truth. Jesus did not reduce people to their past or their struggles. Instead, he invited them into transformation. In John 8:11, after showing mercy to a woman caught in sin, Jesus tells her, go now and leave your life of sin. Notice both elements, grace and also truth. The Bible's teaching about sexuality is really part of a much bigger story. Creation, brokenness, redemption, and restoration. Sexuality was created as something meaningful. Human brokenness complicates that story, but Jesus came to restore what has been broken, which means Christianity isn't ultimately about shame, it's about transformation. So what does the Bible really say about sexuality? It says human life has dignity, it says relationships matter, and it says God's design is meant for our good. The conversation about sexuality is ultimately not just about rules, but it's about understanding who we were created to be. And if you're exploring questions about faith and life, subscribe and drop your questions below, and I'd love to keep exploring them with you. Because many of the biggest questions people ask today are the same questions people were asking thousands of years ago. And the conversation is definitely worth having.